Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marnise Nicole. I'm an acrylic painter, and today is a Meet the Artist update where we are going to look at every single thing I've painted in 2020. Now 2020 was a lot of things for a lot of people. It's been up, it's been way down, but as far as my artist journey, it's kind of been meh. It's kind of been a refocus and a finding of one's creativity. I didn't paint as much as I've painted in past years. I started a lot of new things in 2020, and I painted some things I'm proud of and some things I hate. So let's look back into all of the things I painted in 2020. Firstly, the thing that I love the most about 2020 is that I started TikTok for real. I got dragged in. I was one of those people who said she would never, and then she did, and so now I have the TikToks. And this was the first one I ever did, which was just a time lapse of a painting that I guess we'll start and talk about first, right? Now, there will be a part 2 to this coming very soon, and it'll be everything I digitally painted in 2020, and that'll show off all of my digital art because it is a new medium that I absolutely love at this point. I'm figuring it out. I'm learning to respect it and the process of it, and yeah, so that'll be the next video up. But for now, we're going to talk about 2020 acrylic paintings and artwork galore. So this original TikTok first step video was based off of a painting that took me 10 weeks to finish. Yes, you can actually click on that video right here if you haven't seen it yet. But really quickly, this is the piece. It's so big. But basically it's this part. This is the important section right here. This right here, the girl, she's chained. It's called Stolen Songbird, and I'll go ahead and insert it here as well so you can see it. And so that was one of 2 massive paintings that I did this year. The other painting, technically I've painted like 4 times at this point. So this is what it finally looks like. Oh, here's Stolen Songbird. And so this is what it looks like now, but originally it looked like this. It also looked like this. And at one point it looked like this, but I hated that. So this is where it ended up. I've painted it literally 4 different times over 2020 because I never thought it was finished, and it never seemed right to me. And honestly, it doesn't really seem right to me now. I still hate this person right here, even though it's supposed to be a reflection of me. It doesn't feel like me, and it doesn't look like me, so I don't know about that. But the other 2, these 2 sections I love, and so it ended up in a kind of dark, abstract kind of way, but I think that very much meets the 2020 theme of it. So I'm not gonna hate on it any more than I have. And then I was really proud because I had stopped painting for so long, and so when 2020 started, this was actually the first major project that I did. I decided for some reason I wanted to paint myself 3 times on a huge canvas after I hadn't painted anything in over a year. So we don't know why we did that, but we did do that, so there's that. Now the next thing I painted was this painting of Kelly Stamps. Yes, she's one of my favorite YouTubers. I love her, and I'm glad to say I was one of the people who found her channel when she still had under 10,000 subscribers. Now she's far from 10,000. So I've been watching her for the long haul now, and I decided, because she had just gotten to 100K at this, and she wore fancy dress, and the way she was angled, it really spoke to me. And because I hadn't been painting in so long, the fact that the positioning spoke to me, the angle, the scene. I already loved Kelly Stamps anyway. I decided I wanted to paint her, and I've always struggled with realistic portraits, so this was a real like upgrade for me because I feel like it really resembles her. On the background, not a fan. It was just kind of a blah effort, but the girl I really like. I love the wrinkling in the dress. I love clothing in general, style clothing, that sort of thing. I really wanted to kind of dive into fashion illustrations at one point, but I was like, you do too much now, just relax. one thing at a time. Maybe in a few years I'll pick up the hobby, but for now we have painting, we have digital art, we have so many other things on the like woodwork. So but we did this painting. Continuing on with content creation, we have this, which was a live painting demo class that Firebomb, aka Olivia, put on Instagram. She started doing these live classes, and I decided one day to join in and paint following her template and her instructions. It was very nice to actually not have to think up a concept and to paint in a different style than my own. Firebomb is one of my favorite artists. I own several of her pieces because I'm always looking to collect other artists, and so this gets its own little special place on my wall. A lot of my paintings this year were not actually canvas pieces. They were actually sketchbook paper pieces, which I'm working on respecting all of the art as it comes to me, whatever surface it's on. Anything and everything can and is art. But anyway, this was done on sketchbook paper. This piece right here is a recreation of my favorite illustration, which is right behind me. That's called Perspective, and this is its recreation, where I was just playing with some colors and that sort of thing, and wanted to really just see if I could come up with a different kind of perspective. So we have this piece, and then we also have this piece, which is the first of my murdery kind of art inspired work that all play around with like bold color and like murder and really just this kind of jolly happy murdery scene. Like, that was the idea of this, like Harley Quinn themed art. I've kind of gone down that track, especially with my digital art, and I really like it. There's something fun about the bold colors and the kind of playfulness of the scene, while also being on a very serious topic and being on a very serious like scene. Like, there's blood splatter. I don't want this to be jolly, but it kind of is, and so I appreciate it. And so this was the start of that journey. I did this piece on a whim. I loved it, and I really want to do more art in this kind of fun, graphic-y, sketchy style. So we have this. I finally went ahead and recreated my ladies' nights kind of sketch painting, which is, I'll just go ahead and insert it because it's not next to me, but this is the painting, and it started off as a sketch that I always wanted to finalize and I never did. So instead, I made it into this concept, which I really loved, and this was made amongst tequila and Crown. So there was definitely some alcoholic encouragement. One of my favorite artists, Joe Sam, in a kind of art talk that he did, he was basically like, there's always art inspiration and then there's always wine. Like, basically have fun and enjoy the process wherever it comes to you, however you get to that process. But anyway, this was the piece. I love the energy in this. It feels like movement, it feels like fun, it feels like a girls' night I would have. It feels familiar to me, and so this was fun. I especially love the dartboard. Still kind of in the Harley Quinn murder scene, but like less graphic. We love that. We love a less graphic scene. So here is this. And so in that same painting section, I actually went ahead and took one of my sketchbook pieces and recreated it, not inspired by like the ladies' night piece, but kind of exactified of the piece. And this was my If Goldilocks and the Three Bears Involved Tinder. This is that piece. This is the title. I'm sticking with it. I'm going with my gut. This is the title, and this is the piece. And the chick running away in the middle of the day like, all right, I'm out, peace. And the bear standing there like, are you gonna call me? Are you gonna call? So that is this piece. It is not my favorite because the girl, I feel like, could use some work, but honestly, like, it's still perfect to me. This is fun, and I enjoyed the painting process on this the most out of maybe anything I painted this year. So it has a special place in my heart. This is a sketch I did of me and my best friend, just kind of impressionistic. I've been playing with different styles, and sometimes painting every single detail and going for realism does not accurately capture a feeling or a mood or anything like that. And so this is us, and I really think it captured us in spirit. I really like the colors, and it was something quick and fun. Again, I really enjoyed the quick and fun pieces for me because they let me enjoy the art and the creative process, which I was missing for so long. There is some pieces that, even though I respected the process, I don't really respect the outcome. This is not finished to me, but it's technically finished. It was a scene about a rendezvous romantique, some love and that kind of thing, and it was about a relationship, and I didn't want to dive into those feelings, so I couldn't really create this as I wanted to. But also, this piece was started digitally. We'll talk about it more in the part 2 of this video, but this piece was started digitally, and when I tried to recreate it, I could not still get those feelings across. And that's because I'm learning digital art can stand on its own. It's not always meant for this medium. It is not always meant to change hands and be something different. It was perfectly fine, and it captured those feelings that I really struggle with putting into this canvas piece. And so yeah, this will remain as this self-portrait. This is an abstract self-portrait with me looking into a mirror, getting ready for my day. I really enjoy the dressing process. And so this was a piece. It's meant to hang in my bedroom over my vanity with my little collection of perfume bottles and makeup and that sort of thing. But I'm looking for the best type of frame for this. I still haven't found exactly what I want, but anyway, again, here's this piece. I did play around with some acrylic ink this year, mostly because I finally went through and sorted with my Every Single Shade series and sorted out my acrylic inks and went through them. So I created 2 pieces. The first is this piece in abstract with overgrown flowers and a model on display. It's a fun piece. She's wearing nothing but her COVID mask because COVID. And I haven't named this, but I do enjoy the piece and the concept. And then I also made this piece, which is a lady with a tiger. Not much else to say about it. This is a lady with a tiger, and it's fun. Some errors here. It was a long time since I had used acrylic inks and did ink sketches and that sort of thing, so there's some things I would fix, but overall, love the concept. I love that she's kind of on a throne, relaxing. She has her guard kitty. Cute, right? So we have that. There is this piece that is now completely wiped and abandoned. I talked about that in this video right here, so definitely go watch that. But it's gonna stay abandoned. Actually, I have this idea that all the white spaces I would outline in like a hot neon pink, and then make it intentionally abandoned, like, and call it abandoned artwork number 1, and kind of give the kind of white space in the abandonedness its own kind of purpose, and make this a 1 art piece. I might still do that. Thoughts? If you like that idea, let me know. But I feel like that will give this more meaning than what it has now, or I could just keep it abandoned with a lot of other abandoned work in my office. The only other things that I have painted in this art studio is my Every Single series sketches. It's what I'm calling it, where I went through these drawers and kind of organized and like took out my colors and used those colors to create art. You can see here that there are a bunch of swatches and an artwork based on those swatches. I did my purple drawer, my brown drawer, my neutrals drawer, and my acrylic ink drawer. I had every intention of kind of completing all of those. If you want to see them, the series is linked here, but I haven't finished it yet. I still have 2 different green drawers, my blue drawers, and I think my red drawer is still left to do. and I will eventually get to those. I know I want to do the red drawer for February because the month of love, obviously. And then I have like requests from a few people with which drawers they want to see next. If you have an urgent drawer of color you'd like me to play around with, definitely let me know. And that, my friends, is everything that I painted in 2020. This is actually editing Marnise, and I just wanted to interject and say really quickly that I painted one more thing in 2020. It was a small thing, but it was this French notebook. I have been taking French classes throughout 2020. We started in person and then obviously switched from home, and so to kind of keep myself engaged with the subject, you know, keep me focused, keep me wanting to pick up and study my French book, I decided to paint the cover one day, and this is how it came out. A kind of crooked Eiffel Tower outside of the, you know, plaza, cloudy scene, lake, that sort of thing. It's not the best depiction of France or Paris or the Eiffel Tower, but I really like it. It's cute, it's fun. My French classmates are very impressed, and so yeah, I painted this in 2020 in the summertime, and I just wanted to show it off because it is something I painted. It was quick, it was fun, and it incorporated something I really love doing, which is learning French. I no longer sound like a child and an illiterate one at that. I'm starting to sound like a first, second, third grader. So that's good. And I'm continuing with my French classes into 2021, so that's fun. And 2021 art has been really good for me in general. If you can see over here, there is a sketch that I'm starting, even though it looks a little crazy. And if you see over here, that is a painting that I finished, and there will be a paint with me time-lapse video coming soon. So anyway, Marnise editing person is out. Bye. It was really fun year for me as far as growth went, and I really think that now that I've kind of gotten back into the creative process, it's a great time for me to explore concept arts. Maybe make it to an art show. I haven't done an art show in so long because I've kind of just had this disconnect with my art. But anyway, this has been part 1 of everything I've painted in 2020. There is part 2 coming soon. Look out for that. And definitely check out any of the videos linked above and below if you are interested in those stories and content. Anyway, my name is Marnise Nicole. I'm an acrylic painter, and I am out. Bye.